Alright, what's going on, Beardos? The Beard here, coming at you from a private match. There's my bot teammate, just kind of looking at me. Funny. But, today we're going to be doing a tutorial. See, I got my controller right here in the bottom right-hand corner. And when I need you to focus on it, I'll make it big like that. Maybe you can look at my beautiful hands. Oh, God. Anyway, yeah, it'll be here for the duration of the video. You can rewind. You can look at it again. I'll maybe slow some of these portions down so you can see exactly what my hand's doing. First and foremost, I want to start off by saying that there are a few different types of controller settings that you should look at first before you even start playing. Okay, so for me, I didn't know this until later on after I already started playing Gears of War, but there are a few different control schemes. Okay, a lot of the pros, I'm pretty sure, from what I've heard, some play on default, which is what I play on. I'm gonna go ahead and show you this control scheme now. So default, A is to take cover, evade, mantle, and you hold it for a roadie run, right? But a lot of pros play on classic alt, which is like take cover and mantle is A, but then your roadie run is X, right? So it's so that you're not I'm sorry, your roadie run and evade are X, so it's so you're not rolling. You're always able to just bounce to walls instead of rolling on accident. So like, see how I'm tapping A right here and I'm not rolling at all, but if I tap X, I'll roll. This is especially good for wall bouncing because you're not gonna ever accidentally roll except for in that situation. So you can just keep going back and forth. And I think a lot of pros use this because, you know, it just makes it so you're not accidentally rolling all the time. Whereas if I try to do that as smoothly, I mean, I'm not good at it on classic alt because I don't play on classic alt. But if I put this back on default, right, and I just start tapping A all over the place, there's a chance. Well, I'm better at default because I practice it. But see how I just rolled right there instead of and there? That's gonna get you killed a lot of the time. So rolling is kind of bad. I mean, it can be good, but most of the time it's gonna screw you over a lot. You're gonna want to either just force yourself to play on default if you want to be, you know, a good wall bouncer and you don't want to like mess up by rolling a bunch. At least that's what I've been told. Just, you know, maybe starting off on classic alternative is actually better than just learning how to play default. But I play default. I always have. I've played default since Gears 2, so this is what I'm used to for bouncing. And occasionally I do roll, and it does get me killed a lot. So, I mean, if you don't want to die for needless reasons like that, then I would just say force yourself to play on alternative, and you will get used to it pretty quickly. Okay, so yeah, you're going to want to dial in that control scheme. Second thing you want to look at before you even really start playing, maybe take a few matches to get your sensitivities down. Right? I used to play on 30-30-30, but I find myself over-aiming a lot on 30-30-30 right here. So I lowered it to 28-25-25. So look sensitivity is 28. Your look sensitivity is when you're not aiming at all, okay? So it's just right here. This is your look sensitivity. This is your target sensitivity. When you hold left trigger, right? That's your target sensitivity. And then if I had a sniper rifle or a scoped weapon, my zoom sensitivity would be after I pressed the left stick. But I don't have one on right now, and it's not that important for this video. So you're going to want to spend a few matches dialing in your control scheme and your sensitivity, okay? If you find yourself over-aiming, like say that an enemy... You know, I'll demonstrate that. Okay, so that was not over-aiming. You're going to be moving around. Say I just aim like this and I just over-aim, okay? Like that. That's bad. You don't want to be doing that. So dial in, I know this seems trivial, but it's really important, okay? Your sensitivity is really important, especially once you get moving like this and you stop to like shoot somebody. You're going to want it in a place where muscle memory takes over, okay? So get it dialed in to something that you like. Personal preference here, okay? And sometimes it can be better to force yourself to play on a higher sensitivity. I tried doing that on the highest sensitivity, and I still find myself missing a lot, so which is why I lowered it. All right, trial and error. So you're just going to want to be able to, you know, come straight out of your movement and be able to shoot people. That was an example of under aiming, which is... Wow, I just got shit on by bot. But that was an example of under aiming, which is not good. You don't want to be under aiming or over aiming, so you're going to want to dial that in. And the best thing I can say is that when you're dialing in a sensitivity, definitely make sure to, if it feels good or if it feels bad, change it right away. But if you think it could be a good sensitivity for you, you're definitely going to want to try it for at least like 4 or 5 matches before you switch it again. Because you're going to already be learning that muscle memory, and you don't want to ruin that if you find yourself in a good place doing well. So don't just keep changing it all the time is what I'm saying. That's bad. Changing your sensitivity too much is bad. Okay. So now that we got that down, the second thing I want to move on to is movement. Okay, this is where the controller is going to come into play. All right. So right now I'm just doing basic wall cancels. So that's where in order to slide into a wall directly on, right, you're going to want to push up on the analog stick. See, like that, walk towards it, and tap A if you're on default. Okay, if you're on alternative, that would be also A. Sorry, it would also be A. At least the classic alternative, it would also be A. Okay, so you're going to be sliding into a wall. Now that's that. Okay, so if you don't do anything else, you just slide all the way into the wall, right? I took my hand off the controller. I'm gonna roll back here, do it again. So I just slide into the wall. All right. So one of the most used, I would say, most utilized movements and gears is a wall cancel. So it's where you're gonna be sliding into the wall, but you're gonna want to pull back. Well, I pull back. Some people do it differently, but I'm just showing you how I do it, and this is for basic, like for beginners anyway. So I'm sure you can adapt if you want to use a different like style later. But I pull back on the left analog. Oh, too far away. So say I'm sliding in, and I just quickly pull back on the analog stick, and it prevents me from sliding all the way to the wall. Okay, so that's really good for avoiding close range Nasher shots. And once you get good at it, you're gonna want to be doing it at angles as well. So like this is a bit of an angle, right? And you're getting your cancel on, and you can shoot right out of that too. That's what it's good for. So you're just pulling back, pushing forward, pulling back, pushing forward, pulling back, pushing forward, pulling back. Okay. I forgot to mention that some people, if you really want to try it, play claw, and that's where they have their middle finger on the right trigger and their index on the A button, so that they never have to take their finger off of their right analog stick. They can always be ready to aim, especially out of like wall bounces. But I just can't do it. I'm programmed, like I've been playing for so long with just a default hold and default control scheme that this is what I like. And you know, I might not be able to, I might hit a plateau because of that as far as my skill level, but I'm having fun with the game anyway, so I don't really think it matters. So wall bouncing is basically just putting those wall cancels that I just taught you. It's just putting them together. It's like stringing them together. Okay, so let's say I wall cancel to this wall, right? I pushed up and to the right, and then I pulled back the opposite way, right? So if I'm wall canceling to that wall, sorry, let me try that again. Actually, let me go up here where there's no bots. So if I'm wall canceling to that wall, right? And then I wall cancel to the opposite wall. It's basically, that's basically wall bouncing right there. Like you're just pushing up towards that wall, pressing A, and then going towards the other one. And you could throw in like you don't necessarily have to change. So I'll take my hand completely off of the right analog stick. Like you don't necessarily have to change direction aiming. You can do it without aiming, but I always find myself doing a little like flick in between just to get myself facing the right way. And I think it makes it a little bit more consistent when I'm trying to wall bounce. However, sometimes that's bad if there's like an enemy in the middle of these stairs right here. Like if I over aim towards the other wall, I'm gonna be out of position. But if I just do this, or just look down and okay, it's different because it's not flat. Let me go to a flat area. Okay, so right here, this is perfect. So if I just do this, let's say there's like an enemy in between, like in the middle of this little section, right? Coming at him like that is going to be much harder to hit me than if I was just running at him in a straight line. Oh my god, I'm getting lancered and fucking hammer bursted. See, watch. See what I mean? Like, you're much harder to hit. You can avoid a lot of damage by putting together these wall cancels and it's called wall bouncing. Okay, so when it's flat like this and it's like a close area, you don't always have to pull back. Like for the cancel part, like see how I'm pulling back like that? Like I can just keep going back and forth up top because when I'm aiming the other way, I'm canceling. Like it's already canceling for me. If that makes sense. So this is going to be your bread and butter right here. As far as shotgunning, once you're up close to somebody, you know, throwing in a couple wall cancels to wall bounces, you know, it's good movement. And it helps you reduce the damage you're taking while also advancing towards the target that you want to attack, right? So that's important. That's a big part of the game. Like pushing people in this game and then beating them, it just feels good. Okay, so that's what you're going to want to do. So I'm gonna hop into a regular match, and I'm gonna hop into social. And next thing I'm gonna talk about that I think is important is decision making, because this is my weakest thing. I think my weakest suit in this game. I think I got decent aim, I got decent movement, and I could become a better player if I just stopped playing basically like an idiot. Like I just make bad decisions all the time, and so I might not be the best person to give advice on this topic, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, good. We got dodgeball and forge, right? This is perfect. I feel like dodgeball is a good mode to show this on, because you gotta really pick your engagements in this game mode. Because if you just go dying all the time, you're gonna lose for your team basically. Got a guy right here. See, okay, it's four guys. See, so there's no reason for me to take that fight on, even though I normally would in social, just because it's like whatever, trying to get a clip or whatever. I didn't even know he was in that corner. He was just sitting there. See, okay, if you don't have teammates with you, there's no reason for me to push that, but I'm just doing it because I don't know, it's more fun that way, and it helps you practice against multiple enemies for when you're in situations like that, like just pushing for no reason. Especially in social, where I don't care about anything. The only thing I can say about what just happened right there is that I under-aimed twice. But the thing is, I like to keep my sensitivity a little bit lower, because if you're off, you'll be off by less, I feel, than if it's higher. I feel like it's like that in most games, especially in like CSGO and competitive games. So if I'm having an off day aiming, right, I'll be off by less if my sensitivity is lower. That's my opinion on the matter. See, like there, pushing out of cover was not the right decision. I should have just stayed there and let him come to me. But I get impatient, and I made the wrong decision. So yeah, decision making is very, very important in Gears of War. It's super important. It's a war of attrition, you know, okay? So you can be the aggressor, or you can be the opposite of that, which is a word that I can't remember right now. The defender, I guess? So like I'm in this cover right here, and I got two guys, one to my left, one to my right. This guy doesn't have a shotgun out, so therefore he is more vulnerable to attack, right? This guy's not playing. See, all I can say about that, my aim was pretty bad right there too. I did 18% in one hit, even though I saw blood flying out of him and out of me the whole time, but yet we weren't hitting each other. See, like there, I shouldn't have rolled. I tried to slide into the wall and I just messed up, basically. So you're gonna find yourself messing up a lot, especially if you're playing on the default control scheme. But that's okay. Screw it. It's, you know, you're practicing. Everything's fine. This is my first match, so I'm playing pretty shit, but I don't really mind. I still feel like I'm teaching you useful things, even though just don't take up my bad habits, but I'm teaching you things that you can use that have nothing to do with my habits. Just like simply the wall bouncing, the wall canceling, the sensitivity thing, all of that is just objective. My gameplay though is much obviously subjective, and you don't want to do everything that I'm doing unless you're better. But if you're better, you're probably not going to be watching this video. so what else to go over? I'm not exactly sure. I think I can do more videos. If you guys have any suggestions, if anybody who plays the game a lot has any suggestions, please leave them in the comment section to help me out. I can do more tutorial videos when I figure out other things to go over. I just wanted to do this preliminary video with movement, sensitivity, and, you know, decision making as the primary topics. I can go over decision making more. See, there's one dude up here, right? So it's fine if I push it, but see how I rolled right there and it got me killed? That's exactly what I'm talking about. This is why I'm telling you should probably just force yourself to play on alternative, classic alternative, if you don't want that to be happening to you a bunch. Because I just rolled by accident there. I was just, you know, I don't know, dicking around, and I messed up. But when you mess up in like a comp game, it has a lot more meaning. It has a lot more weight to it. I'm assuming when I'm making this video that most of you are new to the game, because I'm trying to make the game more accessible to people. I want the community to grow for this game, so I want it to be more accessible to people, and so I'm teaching it to new people. And if you're new, you're gonna want to be playing social anyway, right? Just to practice. See how I waited that time? I had no reason to push out and face that guy. I'll throw in some clips where wall bouncing is like very beneficial and when it should be like used. I have some clips I could throw in where, you know, I'm getting like 1, 2, and 3 kills in a matter of 2 or 3 seconds using wall bouncing. And I think that's where it really comes into its own when you're taking on multiple enemies. It's a lot better. And even 1v1s too. It's, you know, it's really good to use. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I hope y'all enjoyed. If not, let me know in the comments. You know, if I did a bad job, I could just, you know, try again or something. I want to be useful. I'll hopefully have some more videos like this in the future with different topics, maybe power weapon use or some other things after I think about it. I gotta think about it for a little bit. These are the very basics of the game. Or I could go over specific game modes as well, to the best of my ability, especially escalation at a later time. Just let me know how you felt about this video in the comment section. Any feedback is appreciated if you're a new player or if you've been playing the game. It's been the Beard, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Later.